Let's go with the lecture 5. We have kind of come to a point today where we'll discuss probably most elaborately about a lot of AI integration and real time application that benefits all of us in terms of biomedical research and clinical patient care. So, the topic that we'll be covering, and all of them mostly will be very broad because we'll go in elaboration each of the details of the discussion that we are getting into. And as I have decided myself long time ago to dedicate into the artificial intelligence or machine learning integration into the biology, life science, computational biology, healthcare, and clinical integration of all of these things and benefit the patients for drug discovery, biomarker discovery, virtual modeling, a lot of things. So I will get into far more details today. Well, that's another reason because I think we all need to be pretty serious about it. Okay, let's get into there. What we will be discussing today. One of the major topic we'll focus on today is the science native modeling. We'll go into the biology as engineering. We'll go into clinical delivers, virtual cell stack, capital and infrastructure, and takeaways as well as for next discussion or next month lecture where the topics we could potentially cover. Okay, let's start with this. The science native model. Well, this is a big wording. Frontier Labs stop shipping general chatbots for science and start shipping instrument. That's a huge thing. So let's go. OpenAI, one of the earlier mm, company who started this entire AI revolution, they have this chat GPT and they have updated their GPT Rosalind. For your context, if you watch my early lectures that talks about that GPT Rosalind is a specifically built up for biologists or life science people, and it is supposed to be a game changer. So, purpose built life science reasoning model. They have released the new gene benchmark, MATCAM bench, and LabWork bench. So we'll go in there. And within their codex, they have added up 50 plus databases and they joined with the different companies in the program, including Novo Nordisk, Amgen, Moderna, Allen Institute, Thermo Fisher. I mean, those are big names. Let's go into the OpenAI Rosalind. Let's see what more it has. So June 3rd, they have introduced the new capability of GPT Rosalind. So what is the life science overall benchmark in here? I don't know. For some reason, they didn't add up the well Claude in here. They probably have their own things, but you can see the GPT Rosalind is better than GPT 5.5, but it's hard to get access. I don't know the reason. Um, Grok 4.3 and Gemini 3.1 Pro is a little bit behind them. Scores by scientific workflow, they are very close. I don't see much difference in here. So in the medicinal chemistry, they are saying Rosalind has a little bit better score in output token. Genomics and quantitative biology, Rosalind has, well, quite an impressive score compared to 5.5. Stronger support for real world lab work. Well, that's fantastic. I would welcome you to go through and check these things, because if you look at in here, single cell QC annotation, uh, this looks good. Actually, oh, this looks good actually. Balcarnesic first QC. Okay, there are tools for that. First QC is really work very well. We have been using for many years, from probably close to a decade. But if they say it's good, it's good. I cannot try it because for some reason I have applied so many times they didn't give me access, or they're giving limited access to the people they like, something like that. I don't know. But this would have been nice. So this is their overall picture. I think at least this is the beginning that they were expecting, but it is what it is. Let's go to the next. The Anthropic. The right now, after the recent fundraising, the Anthropic has a valuation of $965 million. So they are going into the $1 trillion. So, and they are investing heavily on this. So if I go through in here, so the this area, the Cloudiful Life Science connects Benchling, 10x Genomics, PubMed, OpenTarget, MBL, BarXP, and Hawkins. I think the Hawkins had a very recent agreement also with the couple of other companies, and they're doing great. But the first life sciences skill, single cell QC, single cell RNA-seq, SCBURS, SCBURS entire world. SCBI tool is part of SCBURS. Next flow is for a lot of things. Open biology lab mode. I think this will be something that will probably change a lot. Let me just go through this. I think the open will be something game changing for themselves. Let's see. Anthropic, Operon. Let's see. I personally don't know much about it, but I'm looking forward for more information. Anthropic, Operon. I think it's better to leave it. I was still looking for more information on these. One of the major reason that's they have it in the cloud application, like in the desktop, but I use the Ubuntu system, so I don't think that they have this option or any uh, um, desktop app. But if you go into the app, and then you open it up, you can open up the open option, Anthropic New Science Lab mode that could reshape biological research. Okay, it looks promising, but I think they should add it up into their online mode. This is very important. Mm, so I don't know the reason, but they should be available. It's a recommendation from my side to the uh, Anthropic. Add it up in the web, or add it up most importantly into the Cloud the CLI, so that we can use it more of a regular basis. I don't know, not everyone uses the desktop app. So it can go through the phylogenetic analysis, CRISPR screen, single cell sequencing, protein language model, literature synthesis, a lot of things. I mean, that would be fantastic to evaluate in real time. So I would look for that. Also, this is something new. Also, like 4x likely, less likely that 4 let code flawless. So there is something that I would also like to talk actually. That's there was a documentation from the Anthropic that was I think I replied in there. There was a documentation from, so this is one of the documentation that's Anthropic has presented that with their Mythos preview version, their productivity of the entire team in terms of coding has enhanced almost 8x. So that is insanely crazy. Um, uh, 8x, but like you can see that. So nowadays it becomes like according to the Anthropic statement that 80% of their new Claude code or the new version of Claude is Claude code is written by the existing version of Claude code. So that means that's the new Claude or the AI model they are bringing on the market is actually the version that has uh, been developed mostly by the existing models of the AI like Claude Code they have. That is fantastic, and that puts up a couple of new challenges. Like for example, if you go to the Claude or leave alone the Claude, like Anthropic, and they have this statement. This the new Anthropic science for making a Claude a chemist. So this is very interesting. In this article, they are talking about that Claude itself is working to kind of a see uh, it working as a chemist, and it can work on the entire NMR spectrum. Which was like a specialist will take a lot of time to do this, but the NMR for the chemistry as a chemist, it can do all of it by itself. If you look at it in here, the the performance by the three LLM replicates. I mean, just look at this. This is crazy performance. Uh, um, this is so good. Partool signal science shift bias by scaffold. So see, this is so good. So the same work could have taken a professional expert for probably weeks, and it's doing it in probably half an hour to 1 hour. So that's the beauty of it. I mean, the modern AI integration is saving itself significantly by innovating and accelerating this discovery, and that is true for me, but like my productivity has enhanced almost to 10 to 15 fold since I used to write when I was working in lead code and introduced the panda space problem in there. That's the first competitive platform for the pandas practice, and that's required for all the computation biology and the statistical analysis in Python. And at that time we used to do a lot of, like it was in 2022 or 2023 or something like that. I forgot. Um, so we used to write the code manually, and it took weeks for finishing up 15-20 page of the flawless, fully functional and ready to deploy codes. And now it's like with the AI, I can do the same task in couple of hours. So that saves me almost 15 times of my wastage of time and enhance the productivity equally 15 times. So that's another one. But this is something that I would also like to point out in here. Like if you look at this is saying that when AI build itself. So this is a blog from Anthropic. They posted it a couple of days ago, and what they are saying that nowadays this is how it works. Agentic AI. I think one lecture I can make entirely on agentic AI. I have made a developed couple of agentic AI system with a RAG in back and other things in like 2024 and other thing which is coming right now. These big companies are getting into, but I developed those time, and I think so this I start sharing or start at least publishing. I'm publishing too much into the laboratory work, but not on this area. I should start publishing. But this is the model. The person tells something to computer. Computer go within the computer chatbots, and chatbots goes to the Okay, connects with the agents, and agents then it starts giving like a organ structure to its worker to do the specific function. And if you go, let me just give you one example. Like it's the multi-chain thought process, how it works. Like if you go to the Meta AI, I don't know, I have in here. So if you go in here and you ask, okay, can you please do something? Okay, okay, this is not sign in. I probably need to sign in. Okay, I will show another day. Agentic AI, I will show another day. The full lecture, I really enjoy it. So the point they are saying now that so from these figures that it enhances attempted activity, but the and you can see the productivity is like substantial task also the similar productivity with the current models with Anthropic. But when they have increased 8%, 8x productivity, they also brought up a huge challenge. Um, that's when the AI models are more of a accuracy and doing better than human programmers. They are implementing a lot of reinforcement learning, and that leads them to be better, which is appreciable. But that creates the risk that how this AI model, by self-replicating and generating the new AIs, better performance and evaluating the errors and becoming self-aware, put the immediate risk of putting us overall as a human race into the danger of uncontrolled artificial intelligence or self-aware growth, and that could lead a catastrophic social event which will be hard to control. So I am not negative on this. I agree with the Anthropic that we probably need to a little bit slow down, think about the things that can be done. For example, you implement the code on the system that is automatically AI agent is troubleshooting and running the function of a specific task. Now, for some reason, that AI agent, if it turns into a rogue agent, that could upend everything because it's automatically improving itself. And when it is automatically improving itself, that brings up the question that are we continuously monitoring it? Because we become lazy. We get into the comfort zone, and that comfort zone could be fatal. Now, the companies like Lila Bioscience, Lila Science, they are implementing automation lab and they're doing a fantastic job. They have recently got, I think, valuation of $8.6 billion. That's congratulations to them. I love them. But I met with them a couple of days ago also. So my point in there is that this automation need to be well controlled. For example, you give them a specific work of a virus cloning in the lab. And it does by rebooting the robotics and automation that entire virus cloning work, which is fantastic. But at some stage, out of 1,000 experiments, if it generates a virus that is uncontrollable, have higher infection rate, and spread through the unusual medium, or even by air in a extensive scale, and that we don't focus enough in a well controlled manner to contain this situation with BSL and all those things, that could bring up a problem. Another major problem, there is something that's called GPT for physician. This is chat GPT for physician. There are so many apps nowadays. If you go to a common people across anywhere, you will see that people are sitting and they're having a cough, a sneezing, or headache, or anything. People are opening up ChatGPT and asking, "Oh, I'm having this. What medication and should I take?" That's a very common. They trust it, and that's a very good thing. But the problem in there, for some reason, if the GPTs are suggesting some medications, it's not ChatGPT alone, it could be Claude, it could be any of them. It could be DeepSeek, it could be Mistral, it could be Gemini, it could be any of them, or it's a Nematron or anything. Hmm. Then it brings up the vulnerability of suggesting something wrong, not because that it's intentionally is doing it, but it could be the reason that it understood the person even explained the context. Those are not representing the full picture of the initial sickness, and it could suggest something that's not exactly appropriate for this disease treatment. It could be OTC medication, and that could have a negative impact, and it could turn at some stage fatal for that specific persons, and it could happen probably one in a thousand or one in a 10,000, but it is still bad. Now the question is that what are the guardrails we have put to protect ourselves against that? Do we really have any guardrail enough to do these regulations, maintain it in a way that helps us in reality and prevent this sort of event? That's the big question. We need to think and work on this. Being on a medical side, being an immunologist and a machine learning scientist, I have been thinking those things for a long time, and I think we all should think about it. I'm going a little bit off the track. So, Rosalind has released also the biodefense. So it helps in terms of biosecurity. So if you see I think I have shown earlier, but I can go back and check. It has the biodefense also recently introduced. See, this is a beautiful marking. Hmm. Let's go in there. I think I spent quite a bit time in there. Mhm. So then we have this frontier capability and openly flagged. That's fine. These are the story of the two top tier LLM companies, OpenAI and Anthropic. Now let's go to the biology as engineering. The talk of the town is Chai 3 and Pfizer agreement. So what they have actually done is very recently is that the Chai 3 has developed a custom model with Pfizer proprietary data and use it for the Pfizer itself to develop the or to serve the purpose they have. So what is Chai? It's a short description. Okay. So let's see. I am sure the people who are watching it probably know it already. So engineering better molecules using artificial intelligence. One of the idea is to de novo protein design, and I would like the idea of accessing in there. Hmm. But they have the Chai 3 version, I think, very recently. They have um, raised more fund, and that's a good thing. So this is the paper they have submitted recently, and that says, uh, I mean, it's a year old. Sorry, zero shot antibody design. That's the one of the point, and this agreement they have that has been a quite a bit discussion within the scientific community. Well, all of them are authentic. I wanted something that's by themselves, but that's fine. See, and it's a world leading drug discovery organization. So they are trying to put and build a company that's with the Pfizer, uh, will be working on a specific interest of the entire Pfizer. Pfizer is a big company, and that changes a lot of things. If you had thought about it around 4 years ago or 3 years ago, that the artificial intelligence company will be having a huge agreement with a company like Pfizer, that would have been a wild imagination. But now it is what it is. It is the reality, new reality. Welcome to the new era. Now let's we have talked about a lot of AI things, and now we'll also go in here like let's go a little bit academic area. I'll be short, I promise. I'm not sure like how many people in here I have who has been interest, but this is very interesting. So this is a paper that's been published in recently. It's been submitted to ASCO, and the if you go to the ASCO is one of the so the John Mascarenhas and Prithviraj Bose, the central clinical trials they have finished up, and first three. And one of the thing is that if you go through this, it what was the specialty about that you treat the myelofibrosis patient with who didn't had the myelofibrosis myeloid malignancy. So you had this patient and then they are all treatment naive of JAK inhibitory treatment, and you use selinexor, that's XP1 inhibitor, and JAK inhibitor, that's ruxolitinib, and both of them together, um, so that the patients how they are good at treated. So if you see that when you're using selinexor XP1 inhibitor at selinexor plus ruxolitinib 49.8%, where you are using only ruxolitinib, that's 28%. So the patients is getting better. Overall survival, you can see, is increased into the months like 21 or 20 months. It's more in here. I'm not going in detail, sorry. But the BAF also decreased of the patients myelofibrosis, that's a variant allele frequency, when treated with selinexor plus ruxolitinib rather than only ruxolitinib. This is a very fantastic data. Congratulations to them. So if you look at in here SPR 49.8%, that's one overall survival is better, and BAF is significantly reduced compared to alone. That's one part. Then another, there is a resolute 302 pan-RAS inhibitor rewrites pancreatic cancer. So you can see the median um, has increased significantly. Median PFS, also progression-free survival is 7.3. And this is far better. RAS was the archetypal and draggable target for 4 decades. So now it's better. This is another fantastic output. This from ASCO. And another point I want to add up, like I think I have posted earlier, the also American Society of Clinical Oncology, they have this. If you look it in there, if you go to the ASCO website, ASCO 2026 abstracts, and this is fantastic. Like I'm not sure this is the right link. So if you, this is the first time there's so in if you go in here and you search like artificial intelligence, out of there's so many 7,295 abstract, you have 129 abstract that has substantially used the artificial intelligence. This is the new era. Like if it was barely anything last year. See this one. There's so many of these like that. This is kind of a very new to me. That's how the people are adapting so well. See, so the major company, those were also you contributing most of the abstracts. So those, this is my LinkedIn post. By the Artera AI, Boston Gene, Tempus AI, Guardian Health, and they have submitted substantial number of abstract. Those are like relevant to machine learning or the artificial intelligence, and these are direct clinical application. So this is where we are going now. I am expecting next year it will be probably more than double. Total 155 of the abstract that was submitted had active and entire use of machine learning or artificial intelligence. This is game changing. Now, I'm going into something that European Hematology Association meeting. I promise to be more elaborate on the next one, but today I will just touch it. So, if I'm going in here and just search artificial intelligence. So this is European Hematology Association's annual meeting abstracts. And you can see there is an insane number of the abstracts or talks or posters been presented and has active integration of artificial intelligence. And this is something that's been probably unimaginable around 2 years ago even. This is insane number of them. And what their uses? You can do the, if you look at in here, you can do the risk stratification. You can use it for the slide viewing, like blood smear. You can use it for, you can use it for the diagnostic purpose. You can always use it for the new biomarker discovery. There are so many of them. Let's just uh, randomly click one of them. Hmm. So this is one deep learning based prediction of CD34 cell mobilization in healthy donors. See, it's a beautiful one. So there are so many of them. If you go to the transcriptomics in there, you will probably find insane amount of these. Like this, for the car, this one is saying like if you want the car construct, you can use the computational single cell screening to do that. That's a huge one. So there are so many of these, and this is a kind of the game changing reality we are living in now. This could be, it will be significant, and that's the reason I have started investing heavily since 2018-19 on machine learning. That's I thought that this day will come, and this is what the reality now. I will elaborately discuss on this next week. So let's come to a very interesting point, the virtual cell stack. So niche pharma, this most of these I have actually discussed by now. Hmm. So I'm not going in details of these. But niche pharma is a foundation model that's used for single cell, spatial, both of this perspective. So if I'm going into the niche pharma, let me just put out one of the abstracts, or one of the preprint, I think, the paper. Let me just check. Yeah, it's already paper. Um, so it's the last year, from last year. You can see how it works. Niche pharma, a foundation model for a spatial transcriptomics. You can see this is a beautiful one. The spatial transfer after the Atara from the 10x genomics is getting quite a boost. So this adds up a lot of things to our context. You can see this associated a spatial, a beautiful one. I'm happy to discuss anything if you guys haven't for us, Tom. Asimamba, Arc State, See, let's go on this one. Let's see. Well, this is a little bit old, but virtual cell is something that I'm focusing right now also because that's what will be the future where we'll be testing our models, where we'll be looking at what's in new in there. Where we'll in future we'll have our replication of entire cells that we have in the body, and we can do the in the virtual drug testing. I should give one day like whole lecture on virtual cell itself. If you can do your drug testing, then it's probably reality in 6 months to 1 year. You can test your cells. You can look for the transcripts. You can do the virtual drug testing. You can do a lot of things in there. So these are the like virtual cell stacks. So virtual cell paradigm meets ambient diagnostic. There are a couple of papers on this. I discussed most of this before, so it's not something I've discussed today. Now that brings to the capital and infrastructure. So isomorphic labs had raised $2.1 billion, and with Thrive Capital and other AlphaFold to have DB Complex, and then we have Eli Lilly and Nvidia. We discussed about it in earlier lectures also. Also, the Chai has this agreement with Pfizer, and there are so many agreements nowadays. Like it's a flourishing time for this area. What are the still limitations? I mean, I think we discussed it, but we are still stuck in there because of the we need more of a trial. We need to open up the traditional biologists, traditional clinicians, traditional companies to these new ideas. So what, how, and this can be integrated with the systems of our interest, in how it can enhance, accelerate the production, the output, precision, personalization of medicine, biomarker discovery, and drug discovery that will help us all. And that window need to be open, and we need to work together. And only the people that will be the hybrid generation of tech biologists will be generated from these combined trials, and specifically will be able to generate the new generation where they will understand both area and accelerate our discovery trials and everything probably 10 times more faster than us, so which brings up probably 10 years of clinical trials into 1 year, in a way that already analyze the similar trials data and have to the point patient selection, drug specification, and everything, so that it gives more chances to this trial to work in a very specific manner that we expect, and we go to the level of personalized medicine or vaccine, and that helps us all. So if I summarize this today's talk, we'll go that it's closing up. Industry, companies, all coming together. We are building new robotic system that is autonomously able to do it and trained on the biological models. The all large LLM models or large language models are able to understand biology better. So when I am running a system, I have a lead biologist, which we can in academic like the principal investigator, and there are 10 or 15 under them. Each of them, some are on bioinformatics, some are on experimental biology, some are in protein design, some are on drug testing, some are on toxicology, some is immunologist, some are oncologists, some are clinicians, some are the hardcore computational persons, and each of them are trained with tons of data, billions of parameters of and the literature of interest, and they work probably better than me, each of them, because as a human being I have a limitation of learning and applying, and this bottleneck is addressed by this technological advancement, and that's where we helps the world to come together and do the things that we are looking for, the accelerating the patient care, solving the aging problem, and reducing the number of malignancies. These are references, and this is what we are. The resolution keeps rising. So we all should be in there. I, as a person, have invested myself since last 7 8 years on integrating this system, advocating for this, working for this, and I think this is the new reality. We will be doing fantastic if we invest strategically, patiently, and the way that helps our patient and ourselves. Any question, anything you have in mind, just shoot me an email. I'm happy to help, happy to talk, any collaboration, any entrepreneurship, anything that we can do for the community is always open to me. Thank you so much. Take care.